What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Charleston Marketing Podcast, powered by Charleston AMA. We're coming to you from the Charleston Media Solutions studio. Huge thank you to them for supporting CAMA and making this show possible. I'm Rachel Bacall, VP of Marketing and Communications for the Charleston AMA and Director of Client Operations at Phoenix Digital, a full funnel growth marketing agency. Today's conversation is really interesting, one, because we're talking about what it looks like to build a personal brand while also growing your career and how those two things can actually support each other when done right. I'm joined by my co-host, Owen.
Hey everyone, what's happening? You might be hearing from me a little bit here in the next couple weeks. Excited to be on here today, Rachel.
We're excited to have you. And today, I'm especially excited because we have one of my close friends joining us on the podcast. This is Analise Healy.
Hi, so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Analise is currently Miss South Carolina Collegiate America and works in marketing at Momentum Marketing. She's built a strong presence both professionally and personally and does a great job balancing her career in marketing with a very public-facing role. I'm excited to dive into how those two worlds overlap. So welcome, Analise. Woo.
Thank you.
So I guess, Analise, let's start at this. Like, if you were to go to a dinner party, really, how would you introduce yourself? What would you say that you do? Let's talk about that.
Yes, so I'm a project manager at Momentum Marketing, and I like to say we do anything and everything. We're a full-service marketing agency, and we work with many different clients. I specialize in automotive, so I work a lot with Porsche, Mercedes-Benz. We just ended up starting working with Ferrari and Land Rover, Audi, and Honda, so that's really exciting too. Yeah. But we also work with Dr. Solomon, who is local, Polly's Jewelry, just to name a few. And so it's really great being able to work with so many different demographics and really change our marketing strategy dependent on what clientele we're really gearing towards. So I've definitely learned a lot in my now 3.5 years of working at Momentum. It was my first job out of college, and I have grown so much, and I'm so grateful for that. And I think Charleston is a really great place to do marketing. I think marketing is really special here because everybody knows everybody, and really when you work with one business, you end up meeting multiple, and everyone knows those people. So it's been really great living in Charleston.
Well, that's a pretty good 30-second pitch. I'm already sold on this one there. I wish I could have like a free Mercedes out of this thing. Oh, sorry. Was it a Porsche? Never.
Porsche, Mercedes. Yeah, we work with many.
I mean, that's too cool. That's awesome.
Yes, I love working with them. It is learned a lot for sure.
That's very cool. Well, we also want to learn a little bit about what you did with the South Carolina Collegiate Miss America stuff.
Yes, for sure. So I actually started off doing the Miss Collegiate America last year in January 2025. It was my first year pursuing Miss South Carolina Collegiate America, and I ended up placing top 10, and I am now 26. So I was in that weird turning point in my life where I said, you know what, should I keep doing pageants, should I not? And I've been doing pageants since I was 19. So I just knew that there was placed on my heart for a reason, and I knew there was a reason why I was doing it, and a lot of that, of course, is community service focused, which I know we'll get into a little bit further down in the podcast. But I competed again this year, and I really told myself, you know what, this is it. This is my last time competing. I did a prelim in October, and I ended up winning that prelim, and I went into that prelim telling myself if I won it, I would continue. If I didn't, I would retire from pageants. And I told myself the same thing going into January, and I thankfully won, and I was extremely nervous, as many pageant girls are, but it was just so amazing seeing my dream come to life and just seeing that all the years of hard work really paid off.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of hard to stop when you just keep winning on that one. Would love to go through kind of what that process looks like. So how you started out and everything, digging into that. You threw a lot out there for a second, so I'm curious. One question I do have is, how does that tiara stay on? I've been wondering that for like a minute now.
Many hair clips, and I also wondered the same thing. And it's funny because in the video of me getting crowned on stage this past January, I tried standing up about 3 times because I thought that was the last clip, and it was not. There's many up there. And so in my photo, I'm just like standing up, and then she's like, nope, go back down. And that happened quite a few times. But yeah, so I was in the parking lot before this putting on about 10 clips.
Yeah. That thing is strapped down.
Yes, it definitely is. I've had to master it, but it used to be a little crooked when I first started out.
Yeah, very cool. Tell us a little bit about how you just kind of started out. You said you got into this around 19.
Yes, so I started off in the Miss USA system, and I was born and raised in New York. So Miss New York USA was the very first pageant I ever did, and New York, as many people know, in the USA system is very competitive. So I started out going against almost 200 girls, and so that was a lot, and it was really scary because I was 19, so I was the youngest age, or one of the youngest ages that you could be a Miss for the Miss USA system, and I was competing against all these girls who were 27, 28 years old, and I was like, oh my gosh, these girls have so much life experience. How could I compare? And I quickly realized that you can't compare yourself, especially in pageantry, because you will only win when you feel like you are your best self, and that's when you really do see your dreams come to life. But for me, I did that for about 3 years, and I made the change to move to Charleston in 2022. So my last time competing at Miss New York USA, I finally made top 20, which was my goal, because they're, like, again, almost 200 girls, so top 20 was huge. And I moved down here, and I competed at Miss South Carolina USA for 2 years, and I ended up meeting two really important people. Riley Copans, who is a previous Miss Collegiate America. She was first runner-up to Miss South Carolina USA in 2023 when I first competed, and when I found out she wasn't coming back, I messaged her, and I said, I would love for you to be my coach. So she coached me going into 2024 Miss South Carolina USA, and she was like, hey, you need to look out for a girl named Marler. She is going to be there. I think you guys will be great friends. And Marler works with the Miss South Carolina Collegiate America system or pageant. And I met with her, and I spent the whole weekend together. And after that weekend, I ended up placing top 15, so I went back on placement because my year prior to that, I was top 10 at South Carolina USA. And I was really disappointed in myself because it was the first time I'd ever gone back in placement, but again, I was hit with that realization, do I continue going or do I stop? And Marler and Riley both told me, they said, give Miss South Carolina Collegiate America a try. And so they really helped coach me up until the pageant last year, and they're a really big reason why I'm here today.
Oh, that's like
Yeah.
totally cool.
Yeah, it's a very long story.
Full circle moment.
For sure, absolutely.
I didn't know how in-depth that process was.
Yes.
Well, also, too, I got to be honest, I just didn't know there was, like, coaching involved. Well, it makes total sense at the same time. But I do have a question for you. So you mentioned you went from New York to South Carolina. Why that transition? How'd you end up in the Palmetto State?
Yeah, so I just love Charleston. I visited quite a few times between my junior year of college and, of course, leading up to when I moved. And I graduated from college in 2022, and I knew I wanted to move somewhere. I actually went to school for music business and audio radio production. So the goal was to go to New York City or LA, work in a radio station, work in a record label, something of that sort. But I ended up falling in love with Charleston, and I really liked the marketing side of the music business when I studied it in school. And so I started looking for marketing agencies. And funny thing is, I was actually connected with a gentleman who works here, and he connected me with my boss, who owns Momentum Marketing. And so truly a full circle moment being here. This is my first time being here since meeting with him. So it's been many years, but I found my way to Charleston, and I love the beach. I love just the people here, and I can't imagine living anywhere else.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. It's a little bit hard to beat on that front.
Yeah. For sure.
So I know we were talking a little bit more about the pageant and the coaching and everything and kind of what goes through that. What's kind of your long-term goal? I know you said, oh, I'm at the older side of things, which that makes no sense to either of us. But how long you kind of want to continue doing it? Or as you mentioned earlier, is it, I'm going to keep going until I stop winning?
Well, truly, I do believe that this will be my retirement era, as they say.
I love it. The retirement era is fantastic.
The goal was to always serve as a state title holder and hopefully a national title holder. So Miss Collegiate America is taking place between June and July. We get there June 26th, but July 3rd is the day after finals, so July 2nd is finals. So realistically, my goal is to win Miss Collegiate America, and the Miss High School America organization is wonderful. It's really cute because they have the elementary girls, they have the junior highs, the high school, and the collegiate, so you're able to really serve as an older sister for all of them, which I really love about this system in particular. But for me, winning Miss Collegiate America would be, of course, absolutely a dream. The prize package is huge for people who might think about wanting to compete. They're very scholarship-based, so grand prize is $10,000 in a brand new Ford Bronco on top of many other really great
That's
prizes.
pretty sweet. I could
Yeah.
go for one. How do I get involved in
Yeah,
this?
right?
That's
No,
good.
I know, right? They need a men's portion to the pageant. But truly, I just really love that they're really scholarship focused. And same thing with Miss South Carolina Collegiate America. We have the Stacey Jones Foundation, who gave all of the winners a prize or a scholarship, and I received $1,500 when I won Miss South Carolina Collegiate. So just being able to win that is the goal, but ultimately serve as that title holder.
Super cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I guess, Analise, talk to us. Like, it seems like there's a lot of cool opportunities that come from this, whether you win or you're just competing. What is the coolest opportunity that has came out of this experience so far?
I really have to say just the people you meet is so huge. I always say, because of course the promotions of the community service and the pageant itself is so special, but being able to judge a pageant and have a little girl come up to you after that and say, oh my gosh, I want to be just like you, that is just something that is so special to me and more important to me than I think anything else or any prize package or anything like that you can think of, because you just know that you're going to be a core memory for them.
Yeah.
And that they're going to remember you. And I like to say that your sash and really your crown is like your microphone. People want to know what you have to say because it draws attention to you. Yeah. And I think that's really special for the little girls who are so impressionable, and boys truly who are so impressionable, and they look to you for advice.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. So that's the people.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so let's talk about experiences. Like, what type of experiences have you, or opportunities have came out of this?
Yeah. Well, definitely being able to, I have to say, judging pageants is so great.
Yeah.
I have to say, because when you're a title holder, you do get so many opportunities to do that. And being able to be on the other side of things, it really teaches you a lot about pageants in general. I had never judged a pageant until I won Miss South Carolina Collegiate. And just seeing how things go behind the scenes, I'm like, these judges really do have a hard job to do, because everyone is so talented and so great. And I've just loved being able to, I've done high school systems, and I just think it's really interesting how each one works. And I would love to do a state pageant one day, or even judge a national pageant would be pretty cool.
Or like maybe coaching, right? Is that something that you'd be eligible for?
I would definitely love to be a coach one day. I think interview, it's funny because in the USA system, I felt like I really struggled with interview. But once I started working with Riley and I really geared more towards Miss Collegiate America, I felt like something just clicked in my brain, where interview ended up being something that I felt was my most strongest part of competition. And so seeing that evolution in myself was really special, because I used to always get really nervous about interview. And of course you're still nervous, you have the butterflies, but ultimately I'm excited to talk with the judge or speak with the judges and to really let them know why I'm there. And that really is Music Link Foundation, which is my community service initiative and platform. I volunteer as their marketing coordinator and their social media manager. Yes, so that is also a main reason why I want to be Miss Collegiate America, because being able to spread the message of how important music is for children on a national level would be incredible.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that's fantastic. Now, you mentioned the process, like the different, and this coming from you judging too as well. Interviews just one step of kind of this whole thing, which it doesn't seem like you'd have a problem with that at all. But what are kind of the categories that you guys are judged in?
Okay, so every pageant system is different, which I didn't know that going into my first year of pageantry. But when it comes to Miss High School America organization, you have your interview, and interview tends to be the first phase of competition. You usually do that the first day. And then you do, when you're on stage, you do fun fashion, which is really exciting, getting to pick out your outfit. And then you also do evening gown. So evening gown is your last part of competition, because that's what you're crowned in. And for me, I love a jumpsuit, so I did a really cool fringe jumpsuit for my fun fashion this past year for state, and then I did a fringe, like a play on the fringe too. I wanted to keep it kind of consistent, in a red Sherry Hill gown. It was very beautiful, and I loved it.
Very cool. And then you mentioned you're working with your charity of choice. What's that like? Tell us more about that.
Yes, so of course I do things in person and online. So being that marketing coordinator, my favorite thing to do is to go to libraries and to bring informational Music Link flyers. So Music Link Foundation connects underprivileged children to free or reduced price music opportunities. So if you have a teacher in your area, we're able to connect them with you so that they can teach you how to play an instrument. And if you don't have a teacher in your area that plays an instrument or teaches that instrument, we can find someone online for you. And so you could do virtual lessons. And this is really special too. And of course, we're doing it on social media to promote. But I like going to libraries since it's a free resource. A lot of families who might not have the financial means to do much on the weekends or be able to have their kids involved in music, I think reading is a really great outlet for kids. And that's a great place where everyone can go and find the same opportunity and where it's a level playing ground. So for everybody. So that's where I like to go in person, and then of course promoting on social media as well.
That's super cool. I mean, that's got to be rewarding as hell. I'll be honest with you. And what a good initiative. And is it Charleston or beyond Charleston too?
So it's all throughout the country.
Oh, awesome.
Yes. And I focus mainly, of course, in Charleston since this is where I'm located. But I do have people, there are 2 people on the social media team that I work very close with. And we have monthly meetings about how we want to really create new strategies for how we can reach more people who could benefit from the opportunity. And we do that once a month, and they're from all over the country too. So it's really neat being able to just see how every person's where they live and how that strategy really is able to be implemented there and how it really just flourishes.
I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, well, you're creating new passions for a lot of children at the same time. Now, I got to ask you, did this stem from, did you play an instrument back in high school? The cello. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay, actually very close. So I played the viola, and we like to call it a mini cello because it's like the same strings, but you just play it up here. So very close, actually. So I played the viola growing up, and I started playing the viola in 4th grade. And I was really fortunate where music was just very naturally in every school that in my state, really, or actually more so, not really in my state, but in my district. When I went to college and I met people that were living in New York City and then they went to college with me, that's when I realized that music is not all throughout the state. For me, music was always in my life. My dad went to performing arts school for guitar, and my brother played guitar, my sister played violin, my little sister played viola. So we're a very musical family.
I mean, we got a band.
Family band.
We really
We'll
do.
get Rachel on the flute, and we're good to go.
I would love to see that.
I'd pay to see that. I gotta be honest with you.
I agree. But yes, so we just always were playing instruments. And a little fun fact too is my little sister Corinne, she plays the viola, but she grew up deaf. So she was learning sign language about at 2 years old or 3 years old when we found out she was deaf. And she had many surgeries to be able to repair her hearing, and now she wears a hearing aid. But seeing how much she's grown from learning the viola, she's taught herself how to play multiple instruments as well.
What?
And so have I. And so we've been able to bond over that. Yes. But just seeing how she's grown so much from being deaf to now being so musically inclined and playing in the orchestra at her college, it's just so crazy to me. And for me, I just always see her, and I'm like, there's so many kids just like Corinne there's kids who might not have the financial means, but there's also kids like Corinne who might not have the ability to pursue music that could also be struggling with her central auditory processing disorders, which is what she has. And what if she wasn't introduced to music? Where would she be? Would she be at this point in her life where she is so successful and so happy? And I just want to make sure that every child has the opportunity to just grow through music and unlock parts of their brain truly that they never would use otherwise.
Beyond cool. I mean, that's a very neat story as well.
No, like music in a way is like therapy. So would you say that this charity that you're volunteering with, is it kind of similar when they're teaching it? Like there's kids who have, well, they might be from like lower income areas, but they just don't have the means of being able to afford lessons. Or would you talk about the mission behind it?
Yeah, absolutely. So it truly is for children who don't have the financial means to afford music, and especially in the South, which is what I've realized, is there's a lot of Title I schools, especially around the Charleston area that I've noticed, and a lot of Title I schools don't have access to music education programs as well. And I've also been able to volunteer with homeschool children. There's a homeschool cheerleading squad that I was actually able to meet at Faith Christian School, and they are so sweet. And I just was talking to their cheer coach, and I'm like, wait, this is also another market of children to tap, because it's literally kids who don't even have a school to go to. And so, of course, they don't have a music program. So there's really so many different reasons why Music Link exists. I do think the main reason initially was for the financial aspect, but then once you really look at it from an outside perspective, there's also the children who are like my sister who have an auditory processing disorder, or kids who are homeschooled. And it's just so cool being able to see this opportunity really help everybody in a different way.
You do so much different stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you got those two things. You're Miss Collegiate South Carolina, and you're also in the marketing field. How do you have any time for yourself? Really impressive on that.
So honestly, my planner, or really, I grew up using a planner, but now it's my Google Calendar. I do have to say that thing is so helpful. But realistically, I do think I thrive off of being busy. I've always been, growing up, I was a four-sport athlete. I played my instrument, so I was in orchestra. I was in string ensemble, all these things. I was actually voted most involved as my senior superlative.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd vote for you.
It's definitely, no, truly. Everyone's like, please give it to her because she's in everything. But I do think that I learned a lot of time management from that, which is really important. And now it plays into my adult life. So, of course, working at a marketing agency, we're working 9:30 to 5:30. And then what do you think after that? You also have your personal things to do. And I do have a dog. I always have to shout her out. Her name is Cher. We always go on a long walk, so you have to account for that.
Love the name.
But, right? And for me, I just have to always chunk out the time for everything because everything's so important to me.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
I mean, do you utilize any of these we were just talking about it earlier too, any of these AI tools like Chat or Claude or anything? I feel like it's kind of an important thing nowadays.
Yeah.
Yes, well, ChatGPT definitely is something that is very common these days. And I do use it sometimes when it comes to social media, trying to brainstorm fun captions. And of course, I'd make everything my own. But it is helpful when you're in a pinch and you just want to figure out, like, what are some ideas for Music Link specifically? Yeah. What are some things that I could talk about? Because after a while of posting, sometimes I think for me, I run out of that creativity. Yeah. So I like to go to ChatGPT for a little bit of inspiration, but of course, making the caption my own and making sure we keep that human mind behind it.
Absolutely. OpenAI sponsor this podcast. No, I think it's a cool thing that people are utilizing, and especially when you're so busy, it can at least help write you a little bit and stay on track, which we were kind of discussing earlier. But I'd love to learn a little bit more about kind of what your life and marketing looks like too. I know we kind of touched on it previously, but just tell us about it, your day to day. What do you do and all that?
Yes. So we work, of course, Momentum Marketing, which is on Daniel Island. So really quickly, love that location. It's absolutely beautiful. We have a great view, so it doesn't hurt to go to work when you have a great view. But we do work with clients all throughout the country. So, of course, first and foremost, really dealing with time zones more frequently now is very interesting. But we absolutely love our clients, and we're happy to do it. But it's really cool for me to finally have clients that are in that different time zone. I'm like, oh, it's 6 p.m. here, but it's 3 p.m. there. I don't know. I thought that was pretty neat.
That California time, those late day meetings there's nothing better, huh?
But it is really cool just being able to see myself evolve over the years. So I started off as an account coordinator, and I really just my boss really had me doing anything and everything that she needed help with. And I loved that because I was able to learn so many different things. It wasn't just, hey, this is your job role. These are the things that you're responsible for. It's like, today you're responsible for this, but tomorrow you could be responsible for something different. And I appreciate that because I'm able to learn so much. So I think 2 weeks into me being an employee, I assisted her with a music festival for one of our clients. And I thought that was pretty neat. And I felt like everything aligned perfectly because it had a little bit of something to do with my major. And so being able to see that vision come to life through her eyes, because for me, I didn't really work on that project since I was just there for 2 weeks. I was just there to really help out. It was really cool, and we were able to do that for 2 years after that, and I had a little bit more of a hand in the planning.
With that kind of side of things, what did they have you doing? Was it everything, right? You mentioned kind of a little bit of PR, in-person marketing too. Was it the digital side as well? Kind of sounds like Momentum does pretty much everything.
Yeah, Momentum definitely does everything. We do have a digital team, so I don't do too much digital. There might be a thing here and there that do assist with.
That's okay.
There might be a thing here and there that I do assist with, but we do have a digital team that really does spearhead those things. But for me, working on the account side, I really help making sure that everything is correct before emails go out, or making sure that any event is planned properly. And everyone likes to say I'm very detail oriented, and I agree. I'm like sometimes the last eyes to check most things because I just always will find a little error. And that is my superpower, which I've learned over the past few years.
Perfectionist.
Exactly. Yeah. So something that I've carried with me throughout my life, in my personal life, it's definitely helped me in my career. But being able to make sure that we have web banners, for example. Web banners are huge in the automotive industry. Web specials, things like that. Every month we do the same thing at the first of the month, putting offers together, disclaimers you might see on a banner that has a car with a lease offer. I create those now.
Whoa.
So it's definitely a lot of math for that too. But just like I said, just anything and everything. And it's so exciting being able to come to work and just not know what's in store and to learn something new.
Oh, I'm the dead opposite. I like knowing what I'm getting into before I do it. That's really cool, though. Okay, so you're kind of more on the front lines. I know you mentioned you kind of got in with your business and everything, and now where's your role? How did that progress into where you are currently?
Yes. So it really progressed into project management. Last year, we took on a client, and it's Magnolia Plantation and Gardens. We took them on as a client, and I started managing their projects because they do have a lot of print projects and things that they have to physically give out or physically put up. And that's a little different in the auto world. They don't really hand out flyers as much. So we were doing a lot of flyers, things like that. And we have a creative department that creates them. But for me, I was making sure that all of those were correct. Their newsletters that go out, we put those together. And they plan their events in-house. But any event collateral that they might need, we create it and we just make sure it's correct before we give it to them. And that client is amazing. All of our clients are, but I work very closely with Magnolia. And so being able to see how much goes into behind the scenes, how much goes into every event they do is really special.
Well, let's take Magnolia Plantation for an example here. They're coming to you and say, hey, look, we got a problem. We got to get out. We got to get our branding and awareness or whatever that looks like for them out. We need to make some flyers, trifolds. What do? Do they just say, hey, Analise, we got to get this stuff going as fast as possible? Or is there a planning structure? Kind of just walk us through all that stuff too.
Yeah, so it starts off, of course, with an email. My best friend, I am always answering emails. I love my email, honestly. I organize it strategically. It's my favorite thing, but
you organize your email.
You're
going to need to teach us because email overwhelms me.
No, I will teach
I think I got 1,000. Hold on here. I got 2,276 emails in my box right now.
That makes me nervous. Yeah. We'll have to fix that. You have to move. There's folders on the side, so once you complete a task,
I'm always scared I'm going to lose something, though. That's my problem.
I know, but then if you put it in that specific folder, and it's, say, for example, it's a Magnolia project, I put it in that folder, then you'll be able to just
you got a good point.
Yeah.
Just file everything to Magnolia project.
Like underneath that folder, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I've just started messing with subfolders. Yeah. But I feel like it takes time to put it in there, right?
Oh my God, it takes forever. I got to get back to business here.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I just have no tactical flow when it comes to that. It just all sits there and then I start if it looks important or not.
Yes. Yeah. No, see, that's a good way to do it too. Everyone has their own ways of organizing.
Oh, I can tell you mine's poor at that front.
So is your inbox always like empty? Like when you come in there, everything's organized?
So it's not empty ever, but there's a lot of things are flagged or I'll unread things. So for example, if something I know that I need to ask somebody a question, I'll unread it. But if I am waiting on someone to give me the answer, I'll star it.
Wow.
It's just a full
This is super cool. Tell us some tips and tricks over here because I've never heard organizational structure. This absolute flaw. I mean, this goes back to the whole perfection thing over here. I bet your bosses are like, yeah, we love this. I mean, this is fantastic.
I know my team really does appreciate how I am very organized, and I do love it too because for me, I just want to make sure nothing's missed and everything's correct. So we joke. I actually every week I will give my boss a sticky note. I will write everything that I need from her, and at least once a week I go in her office. I'm like, hi, so I need this, and this, and she's so funny. She's always like, I know you have a sticky. What is it? And so everyone just knows, but it usually comes from my email. Like I write it down from my email and then I go and chat with her. But that's why I love we have a hybrid schedule, and that's why I love being able to work in the office too and have that in-person collaboration because a lot of the things I have to talk about, I'd prefer to be in person.
I am so with you. If someone asked me what would be like the perfect job setup, it would really be that hybrid schedule. Because number one, especially when I'm in a little bit more of a sales role, if I'm working from home, great. I can go meet clients, take a flight if I need to, no problems there. But it's something to be said about being in office and, me going to Rachel, for example, and say, Rachel, I got a problem here. Yeah. Instead of sending 50 emails that are going to be in the back of my inbox that are uncategorized.
Yeah.
And, walking through the steps of that. So I would totally agree. Yeah. But what are just a couple tips and tricks just to stay a little bit more organized? If you're talking to the Mr. Anti-organization over here.
Well, I think it definitely depends on your position, too, because if you aren't in front of a computer, it would definitely be difficult, so I can understand that. For me, I'm always in front of my computer unless I'm out at an event or in a meeting, of course. But for me, I always keep my inbox up on one screen. I have 3 screens. I have it up on one screen, and then my other 2 screens I work off of. And so then at least if I see something important come in, I can do it immediately. Or if it's something that, if I'm in the middle of a big project.
Wait, so you have your laptop and then
2 monitors?
Two monitors. Yes. I was thinking 3. I was like, she has a day trading setup over here.
No, just the 2, and then and I do think having it come through is helpful because then I can address it immediately, and then at the end of the day, I'm not like, I have a million things to do. It's as we go.
Half of it's just, it sounds like a little bit of 2. It's just don't put it off and just
100%.
Yeah, just get done with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of mine.
But do you feel like answering clients like right away? Like I feel like something that in my job, like you have to set a tone. I think it's like I usually say within 24 hours, right? Because once you start doing things right away, if you don't continue that or if you bring on new team members and they don't instill that same dynamic, the client's not going to be so happy. So what would be what do you do on a daily basis when it comes to managing more than one client and how often you get back to them?
That's a great question.
Yeah, so it truly depends on what the email entails. So if I get an email that has a really lengthy request and it's something that I know I'm probably going to have to put a little bit more effort into understanding, and it's the end of the day and I'm in the middle of a project, I'll star it and I'll know I'll go back to it in the morning. And I have a really great relationship with the clients where I think that if I needed anything, I usually pick up the phone and I call and I talk to them. And so they know that they can do the same. So if anything is very urgent, of course, they can totally call me. And if I do see a request and I know it's urgent, of course, I'm going to prioritize it. But for the most part, I know that there's maybe 1 or 2 projects that come in and I'm like, okay, that might need a little more brain power. And I'm in the middle of doing this right now. I'll just go back to it, but I haven't run into any issues at all thus far, so that's great.
That's good.
Yeah, I always feel like at least in the sales world, time kills deals, right?
Yeah.
And you never want, and I kind of have myself a little rule, is that 24-hour rule. Can't let an email sit or something in there too long, because eventually someone's gonna be like, yeah, man, someone else came in and just got it away from you at that point. Yeah. So, I think that's a very cool strategy. So I wanted to touch back a little bit, loop back to Magnolia Plantation and kind of what you've been doing with them and everything. And we talked a little bit kind of on your processes too as well. So what's that client relationship look like? You mentioned you pick up the phone quite a bit. Is that kind of your normal avenue?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, all of the requests come via email, but with the client, this one in particular, they have an in-house marketing coordinator, so her and I are always communicating, which is great. So I'm able to give her a call if I have any questions and vice versa, and just be able to talk through certain projects. And when it comes to their overall, the look of what we do, for example, we do their media calendars, which is their monthly things that we are doing for them. But in addition to that is their projects. So I make sure their media calendars are intact and that we know what we're running digitally for social ads, what's going up as a Facebook event versus what's not, and any emails going out. But then we also handle, of course, those special projects like the flyers and things like that.
Well, I know you said in your position, you said it was an account manager?
Project manager,
apologies. You're kind of the most client-facing as it comes, right? You're the ones that are kind of sit there building the relationship, continue and maintaining it. That's got to be a lot of pressure at the same time, right? For sales guys, we are kind of like, all right, we're good to go, pals. If you got a real big issue, call me, but otherwise don't call me.
Yeah. No. Lose my number.
Honestly, I love it. And especially, so my boss is Pam Hartley. She is very well known in the marketing world in Charleston. And she really did me did such a great job at helping me when I first started off in the business. She brought me everywhere to meetings and to events, and like I said, I did anything and everything, and I think that was so helpful because my first day I remember being introduced to a client. And when you're 22 right out of college, that can be pretty intimidating, you know, like not really knowing where what's going on, what we're specifically doing for this client, etc. But she really just took me under her wing and helped me so much, and now I feel very confident being that client facing person because of that, and I really have her to thank.
Yeah, and I mean I bet it's kind of difficult too. You mentioned you guys are in so many different verticals, right? You said automotive. You're working with Magnolia Plantation. You got probably 15 other things you're working with. Do you have to adapt to the way that client works, how they act, how they like things done? That's got to be kind of tough, really bouncing through each one.
Oh, for sure. Every client is different in what they like, and that is just the way marketing is. And I know specifically our creative department, it's more of an adaptable, it's something that they need to adapt to even more so because they're creating a logo or creating just truly a campaign or anything like that, and it has to be based on what the client wants. So I know when we first take on clients, there is a little bit of a period where we're trying to see what they prefer,
right,
and what they like best. And I think that's really cool too because you're able to do different things for different clients. And once you adapt to it, it's great because then you just know when you do another logo, they're going to want it a certain way and you just know how they want it. And it just feels good when you get to that point.
Okay, so same thing with clients here. I love talking about this stuff too. It's you know, love all my clients, love them to death and everything, but sometimes issues come up, right? Whether it be a small thing or something larger. Tell us about how you adapt to difficult situations. If something you have to be, hey, you know, we might have overrun $15,000 or whatever. That's a big problem.
The budget.
But something like that we got to go in and say, hey, either we messed up or unfortunately I got to tell you that you're wrong on this one. How do you handle something like that?
Well, at the end of the day, I think communication is really the best policy. The more you communicate with your client, the better the outcome of anything is. So if there's anything that we feel like we need additional conversations about, picking up the phone and talking that way is much better, I think, than sending an email. And so if a situation like that would to have arisen, I would just call them and have that conversation and just figure it out from there. But thankfully we have not had anything like that happen, which is great.
Love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good question to ask because I think with clients, like maintaining a relationship is so important. But they're also, I mean, if you're the boss of a company, it's really important that you set a tone for your clients, for your employees, that you come first, right? If someone puts you in an uncomfortable situation or makes you do something or maybe isn't a right fit, that like you are respected and your opinion matters just as much. So I'm happy that you've never been in a situation like that, but I feel like from experience, like you really want to have your boss be your advocate. And in that case, take your side and be like, well, maybe this client isn't the right fit for where we're going, right? So I'm happy that you haven't had to deal with that yet.
Yes, we definitely have a great dynamic. And our boss is so good at she just teaches us so much taught me especially about the business and just how to handle certain situations. And so we're really fortunate that we have a great person to go to for anything if that ever happens.
I just love the fact that you guys pick up the phone. I mean, it seems like there's no one wants to do it nowadays. And I don't care if it's even sending a text. It's all done through email. As we talked about, some of us don't have very organization skills and things get lost. I mean, if we have something that comes up quickly, I know in all of our businesses and we have to act fast, the easiest thing is just to get someone on the phone, right? And now there is some degree of saying, hey, can it be timing might be off, anything? But if you got to get something done fast, good Lord, either call me or let me call you. And I promise you, I'll pick up either way. And then we can go over the issue or we can go out to lunch, whatever works best, you know? So I love that type of thing.
100%.
Well, I feel like as we're closing up here, I would love to know what kind of skills or things have you learned from pageantry that you're able to apply in your marketing job today?
They definitely go hand in hand. I have to say, when I first started off in pageantry, I really didn't know what pageantry was. I didn't know how interview worked or anything. I always look back at my first interview and I'm like, wow, I've come such a long way. It's so great. But I learned so much about myself in pageantry. I like to say that you really do, pageantry gives you the opportunity to learn more about yourself than you ever thought you could. Because when they ask you the questions, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or where do you see yourself in 10 years? Those aren't things that you're asking yourself on a day-to-day. But when you're asked that in the interview room, you really reflect. Yeah. And so that's something that you want to, of course, prepare before you get there. So just knowing myself, and then, of course, the public speaking is huge. I definitely think I've grown my confidence through pageantry. But at the same time, I feel as though I've grown my confidence in marketing and being in those client meetings and being able to own certain projects and being able to really have those processes be something that I'm getting used to. And those really do go hand in hand. So the confidence, the public speaking, and when it comes to pageantry too, especially the Miss High School America organization, marketing is so huge because we don't have pageants unless there's girls who want to compete in them. So there has to be people in these positions of these state title holders or local title holders or in general people who have pageantry who are able to speak about the opportunity and really show what it's all about. So for me, of course, the goal is to spread awareness about Music Link Foundation, but ultimately bring more girls into this opportunity because it really has changed my life. And if I could at least get a few girls to give it a try and to see how much it can change theirs, that would be huge. And not only do you go to a pageant and you know there's only one girl that's going to win, you leave the pageant no matter what. As someone who knows what it feels like to lose, you never really truly lose. You leave with something special. You leave with a friend. You leave with something, and a question and interview where you might have stumbled on and you say, you know what, I'm going to come back next year and I'm going to make sure I have a great answer for that question. You always come back stronger, and that's why I wanted to see it through and why I wanted to keep coming back, because I knew that there was a bigger reason as to why I was competing.
Oh, I love that. I really love how you just told that whole story, because I think it's important. Like, there's always going to be winners and there's always going to be losers, but if you take something from that, you are still a winner. You're a winner in the whole thing. So that's inspiring, because so many people get knocked down, and you've kept getting up and trying, and look where you are now. It's very inspirational. So
thank you. And I think I competed in 9 pageants.
True.
And I won my
9.
I believe it was 9. I won the prelim in October, and then I won this. So I have left 7 times without the crown, and every single time I just knew. They call it the pageant bug. You just want to keep coming back and keep doing it, and you just know. I really do think when something's placed on your heart, it's there for a reason, and to see it through. And I'm so grateful that I was able to do that, because it's not just for me either. I'm not here just for myself. Of course, personal growth is great, but for the kids that could really benefit from an opportunity like Music Link, and for the people that could really grow as a person by taking advantage of the Miss High School America organization and all the opportunities that it brings.
I'm curious, so what's next? When is the next competition? How can our listeners help support you? Talk about that. Like, how can we tune in and give you all the support?
Yes, so it's going to be live on Pageant Vision, and I can totally post the link on my Instagram. So my pageant title holder Instagram is sc.collegiateamerica, and I will be able to share a link, and people can tune in that way so they can watch live. So July 1st is going to be prelims, and then July 2nd is going to be finals.
Oh, nice. So it's coming up soon.
We are right around the corner from that one.
It is. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And imagine through all this stuff and everything, you've really done a good job of not only helping your charities and all that, but also branding yourself too, which is very important. I mean, as marketers, as person in sales, as people just starting a business, branding yourself is fantastic. So tell us a little bit of how you've been able to do it, not only social media wise, but really just in general, because it's so valuable nowadays.
Yes. Well, I had a coach my 3rd year competing at Miss New York USA. Her name is Gina Mellish, and she taught me all about branding yourself. And she had said, you want to go into the interview room with 3 points that you definitely want to bring up and that really do make you you. And so for me, I know those points, of course, Music Link Foundation and marketing. But my 3rd one is my dog Cher, and Cher's a rescue. So I've been doing a lot of collaboration with my friend Coco. She is Coco Captures on Instagram. She's very talented and is a photographer and a videographer. And we've been posting some things on social media about the rescue we got Cher from, which is Final Victory Animal Rescue. And I've realized throughout looking at the 3 main points that I want to bring across an interview, how special each of those are and how they really do make me me. The music will always be there for me. Marketing is where I currently am. And then Cher is just the little cherry on top and my just my everything, and that I want to promote, of course, adopting animals and all of those things. But I hope that people can look at my Instagram, look at me in person, and just remember those 3 things.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's cool. I think you bring up a valuable point of just being, again, whether you're in sales or just starting a business out, or you're an influencer trying to get in the influencing space, just having something that makes you unique is important, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be just kind of run of the mill and anything like that. So I think that's very cool. And a tip a lot of us, including me, can take to heart on that front.
Yeah.
So that's very cool.
I think, too, the national platform for Miss High School America organization is Brave, which is also something I've been promoting throughout my year, building respect and values for everyone. And so I was also able to go into a classroom. They were first graders, and they teach them all about bullying and why we shouldn't be, of course, be bullying people.
You just do every single thing ever. I mean, this is the coolest thing.
It's so special because I think everybody in their life has been bullied. Unfortunately, I do think it's something that almost everybody goes through, and I wish it wasn't. But just being able to hopefully, again, be that core memory for a kid, and maybe if they're in a situation in a few years and they're getting bullied, or if they are being the bully, to think back to that moment and think, you know what, I shouldn't do that. And so when it comes to the branding as well, branding the pageant, branding Brave, and making sure that message that all the title holders are spreading is something that I also advocate for during my reign as well.
Are you sure you don't want to move to marketing sales? I feel like you're selling us pretty good. And I feel like in about a year, she's going to be winning the NASCAR Cup, some random other adventure or something like
Just
that.
something random, I know.
Yeah, add it to the list.
Yeah, let me know.
That's super cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Annalise, I feel like this has been such a fun chat to get to know you better. We're really excited to follow along, and we're rooting for you to win. You said your South Carolina Collegiate Instagram, but where else can people follow you at so that they can follow along the journey?
Yeah, my personal is Analise Healy, and then I also have my TikTok and my Facebook, which are also Analise Healy. So I post on my Facebook once in a blue moon for certain things with the pageant, but mostly TikTok and Instagram with the actual pageant things. I post a day in the life of Miss South Carolina Collegiate as well, and I try doing that about once a week. To give people really a glimpse into what life is like with the title, because that's something that I never really realized going into a pageant was how many opportunities you get. So being able to show people that as well is special.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Awesome. Can't wait to follow along. Well, again, I'm the same thing with Rachel. This has been a blast and nothing but a pleasure. I wish you luck, and I hope we win again.
Yeah. I hope so, too. I'm excited. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bye, guys.
See ya.